Will it be the scene of an Arsenal triumph? Will Arsenal progress to the semi-finals of the Champions League? They go in against Real Madrid 3-0 to the goods after that phenomenal performance and result at the Emirates the other night. Arsenal invincible Martin Keown is sitting opposite Simon and myself in here and then heads off there tomorrow. As they go out there, just for the record, incidentally, many people will know Real Madrid won yesterday against Alaves by a single goal to nil. Martin, Kylian Mbappe sent off.
Yeah, he did get sent
following a challenge in that match, but of course he'll feature on Wednesday. So as Arsenal head to Spain for this one, is there always a cautious but with the European champions on their home turf in the Bernabéu? Is there always a but because it's them there?
Yeah, of course there is. And you know what's at stake, and you know that what a comeback that would be for them. This is the ultimate challenge. You're 3 goals down. You know, not many teams have done it, but teams have done it, come back in these situations. So Arsenal need to make sure they start this game especially well, and there will be opportunities for Arsenal. You hope that they're strong, resolute, and those first, play the game in sort of 15 or 20 minute segments. To get through that first 15, 20 minutes is imperative. You don't want to be giving them a leg up early in the match. And I do feel there's enough there. I thought Keown has come in. People saw him as the weak link. But I thought he gave one shot opportunity and they didn't take it. I thought Arsenal in that first leg, Jim, were quite magnificent. It's the most fun I've had watching a game since I hung up my boots. It was just incredible to be there. Declan Rice. This player is on a learning discovery. It's like he started taking corners last year, and they've scored a succession of corners from his dead balls. Yeah. Now he's doing the free kicks, and it's like he doesn't really realise, that he's how good he is, and it's developing in front of our own eyes. That I think anything is possible. I think if he'd got a third free kick in that match, which he didn't, he probably would have put that in as well. So let's just see.
So on Declan, and let's park our bus on Declan at the moment. Lovely guy. I've met him a number of times. Absolutely delightful. And boy, what a performance the other night. Graham Souness, Simon, in his column this week, he's reiterated his previous stance on Rice. He's talented. At 6'2", he's got real physical presence, a tremendous athlete who gets around the park. And you'd have him in your dressing room every day of the week, but he's still short on the creative side that would elevate him to being world class. He has 9 goals, 9 assists for club and country, and a lot of assists attributed to him are corner kicks. In my book, that's not an assist. That's the thing he lacks, being more cute and clever in the final third.
Well, I think that's probably fair. And I think Danny Murphy thought it was fair the other day when that point was brought up. And obviously Graham's doubled down on his original position. And I made the observation about when he played for England over in the World Cup in 2022, it was sideways and back. Now, there was an element of what he's been asked to do. And we know that he's been given a different role at Arsenal, so we see him being more offensive-minded. But we can't just there were 2 phenomenal free kicks that if we ever repeats those again, I'll be amazed. But that is now the standard he's put out there for himself. This doesn't then elevate him on the back of that to being a world-class player in an offensive position. I think Graham's right. I think if you're going to be an attacking player, an attacking midfield player that changes games, you've got to have a cute ball in you, and you've got to be more consistent in what you deliver offensively.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, Graham, you're saying Graham's right, but it doesn't mean he can't ever get to the levels that Graham's talking about. Because he has probably surprised me more than any other player. I think what Graham was saying initially was he looked like a centre-half playing in midfield.
He did, yeah.
He doesn't look like that now.
Right.
I'm not seeing many centre-halves that, can put that ball on a sixpence from corners in the way that he does. I'm not seeing many centre-halves hit 2 balls, perfect balls, he did the other night. So
that's fine.
It's under the surface.
But that's taking the weakest end of Graham's argument. The fact is now that we're now elevating because of 2 absolutely
it's not just those
unbelievable free kicks. Do you think, honestly, in all honesty, that he has that ability to have those thread needle passes, those really clever game-changing passes?
I would ask
those Pirlo-esque passes, because I don't think he does.
I would point the question a little bit and look at the academies. So he came through Chelsea and they showed the door to him. They didn't actually. I think there's a lot of credit for Arteta here in spotting this potential and then giving him the platform to go and do it. Because look, it's there under the bonnet. He keeps producing. And this is what I'm saying about discovery learning. For him, it's happening slowly. You can almost see it happening in front of his own eyes. It's like, wow, was that me? How did I do that? But it's there. And I just feel managers teasing it out of him. There's a lot more there under the bonnet. Yes, okay.
So a few corners and a couple of worldy free kicks.
No,
that's it then, is it?
No, I think that's not you.
We'll
see. Because that's disparaging.
Well, you got to think.
That's disparaging.
If Arsenal get a free kick early on,
it's not buying into.
Up steps Declan.
We'll see.
And you watch the look in their faces when he's lining up.
Well, he's got a quality. He has a quality there that the manager's bringing out. Now, many people thought he was a 6 and no more than a 6. Now he can play. He can play as an 8. He can play in those pockets, and he's demonstrating that, Jim. Yeah. So look, the sky is the limit. The limit is.
No, not really.
I think he's
right.
I think we have to, but I think we should give credit where credit is due. And if we're going to say that someone is merely a centre-half playing midfield, look what he's doing now.
They'll certainly do that if they progress. Do they progress on Wednesday?
Well, they've got a fantastic platform to do so, Jim. Let's go and see what happens in the Bernabéu. They have to be favourites now.
Yeah, they've done the hard yards. If they snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in this one, they can be nothing but disappointed with themselves. They mustn't let Madrid in this game. Madrid are out of this tie. The only way they're going to get back in is that Arsenal allow them to.
Are you a Souness fanboy?
No, but I think in the same way that I defended him against an argument, when someone's right, it's important not to be a contrarian just for the sake of it. I'll be happy to decimate Graham's arguments when they're wrong, which is most of the time.
Graham wrote this. In fairness, Graham wrote this 2 or 3 years ago, and I think he's gone up a few steps since then.
Yeah, but you're taking the weakest. You're taking the weakest part of the argument.
My quote was from the weekend, Martin. My quote was from the weekend.
Well, because he's readdressed it, he doubled down on it, isn't he?
But he's not talking about centre half.
At the end of the day, by the time he finishes playing, he might well have acquired some of the skill set that Graham is talking about.
Yeah, and we'll tell.
Go Declan and go Arsenal.
Go on.
Let's hope, and we'll see Martin Keown
England
pitch side. If it gets a bit hot under the collar at the end, say it's 2-0 Real Madrid, will you be out there? You'll be out there with a microphone trying to stop Mbappe.
I'll be hiding behind the sofa. Yeah, but anyway, let's look for it. Embrace it.
Quite right. Safe travels
on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.